Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another week, another episode of Vinai.s Plays. I had a lot of gems last week, so I look forward to this episode, dropping some more bombs on you guys and giving you some good knowledge. Wanted to start off number one with last week. Last week was, it was rough. Epic fails all around. I had starts Kaepernick, Dwayne Bowe, Minnesota defense. I even laughed at the Cleveland Browns. I had Marshawn Lynch, and they all completely epically failed. I also had Luck, and I told you to sit Luck and sit every single Jacksonville Jaguar, and I was wrong there too. And even had a question from George. He had a question that I made fun of, called him stupid about the Eagles. Should I play the Eagles moving forward? And I said, of course, you're a fucking idiot. And I was wrong on that end too, because the Eagles are horrible. So George, I just want to let you know that I am very, very, very sorry, and I apologize deeply.
What's pissing you off?
Well, things that are pissing me off. The biggest thing, honestly, that are pissing me off, Marcus, really is it's all about really this running back by committee bullshit that we have to deal with. There's too many teams out there with a running back by committee system that's just fucking up every single fantasy player out there trying to figure out who to play each week. It's a whole litany of teams. Let's run them all down here. Pittsburgh. Okay, so Le'Veon's coming back. Le'Veon Bell's coming back this week, right? He's supposed to be the starter. He's a stud. All the combine videos, show how great he is. But we have never seen him before, so we really have no clue really what he's going to be like. Is he going to be a health? Is he going to get injured again really quickly? Jonathan Dwyer looked pretty good against the Bears last week, but yet they say Felix Jones is second in line, behind Le'Veon Bell. So seriously, who the fuck do you play there? And who do you hold onto on your roster as the handcuff? It's just a clusterfuck there in Pittsburgh. Denver, okay, rock paper scissors, really? Seriously, that was. And I know they said it was a joke now, but. Seriously, Ronnie Hillman, Monty Ball, who can't hold on to the ball. Ronnie Hillman couldn't hold on to the ball before either. No, Sean looked really fucking good the week before, but yet got less carries than Ronnie Hillman this past week. Huge clusterfuck. I don't know what to say. Coach Fox, I wish you could just make a decision. He's playing Shanahan. Why is he? They go from Shanahan to Fox, and they still can't make decisions on running backs in Denver. It's just one year after another. It's just annoying. Arizona. Honestly, if you were to ask me who I would play in Arizona, I would choose to play Alfonso, Ellington, Mendenhall, Taylor. That's who I'd pick. I don't know about you guys, but I'd take. That sounds about like a good name to me. In seriousness, and I'm being serious here, I would probably take Andre Ellington, only because it's the name of the great jazz musician Duke, and that's really my smart, intelligent reasoning behind playing Ellington. New England, okay? Again, another what the fuck here. Stephen Ridley, what the fuck? You had every opportunity to take, control of that job there. But now, and then Vereen gets injured, and then now Bolden looked good as the guy, third down back. But Vereen's coming back, is Ridley going to play? I fucking hate that whole system. You can never count on running backs in New England. We've already learned that over the years, so there's no reason why that should not be the case. The reason why that's the case again this year. Cincinnati, okay? Look, everyone drafted Giovanni Bernard high, and the first couple of weeks it looked like, the law firm was doing real good, and then all of a sudden, last week or two, you've seen Giovanni kind of take over. The law firm has been garbage. But again, you never know. One fumble, it seems like coaches are quick to pull young running backs just off of one fumble, and, wouldn't be surprised to see all of a sudden, the law firm have a huge week next week, and again, you're sitting there pulling your hair out, starting Giovanni Bernard. Houston, okay, again, Foster's not looked great this year. Ben Tate has looked a lot better. His yards per carry are better, but yet somehow Foster still continues to get more carries. But you imagine, if they struggle, Houston loses again, maybe the coaches decide they want to go with Ben Tate instead. So I think there's a lot of, I can see a lot of timeshare going on there in Houston. Indianapolis, Look, everyone was thrilled with Trent Richardson owners were thrilled. Now he's off a shitty team. He's on Indianapolis. They got a good passing game. It'll open up the box a little bit for him. Trent Richardson should be a good play moving forward. And then what did we see last week against the vaunted San Francisco Niners defense? Ahmad Bradshaw fucking bitch slapped him all over the field last week and looked like the main guy. So, how is that timeshare going to move? How is that timeshare going to be moving forward? I mean, I could see a 60-40, 70-30, but you don't know. San Diego, same thing. I mean, Ryan Matthews. Enough said right there, okay, with Ryan Matthews being the number one. Danny Woodhead, I mean, bottom line is Ryan Matthews sucks. He always has sucked. I mean, we keep saying, well, boy, if he stays injury-free, he's going to be great. No, he fucking blows. That simple. But he is good for trade value, I'll tell you that. I mean, if you could swindle your way into only giving up, I don't know, like a Reggie Wayne, say, for example, to get a Ryan Matthews, then go for it. Go for it. I mean, shit. I mean, you can't say no to that trade. Big up, James. But other than that, though, yeah, he sucks. Last one, another one here. Buffalo. I mean, dude, I fucking hate Fred Jackson. Bottom line, I fucking hate Fred Jackson. Although I had him in my league a couple of years ago, loved him. But otherwise, as a CJ Spiller owner, just pain in the ass. And then the New York Giants. I fucking hate Tom Coughlin. Just play David Wilson already and start him. But I mean, seriously, when Mike Shanahan right now is providing the standard of starting running back reliability, Mike Shanahan now is. Now you know that the sun revolves around the earth. Cigarette smoking increases your life expectancy, and repeated hits to the head in football do not cause concussions and long-term brain damage. So that's how fucked up the whole situation is, that Mike Shanahan is the standard of reliability for being able to play a running back every week. Next, I want to talk about is the worst starting lineup ever. Okay, and the lessons to be learned. A buddy of mine actually pointed out a lineup that somebody fielded last week. Looked good on paper. It was Kaepernick at quarterback, and this is a PPR league, mind you. Kaepernick at quarterback, Marshawn Lynch and David Wilson at running back, Wes Welker, Deshaun Jackson at wide receiver, Brandon Myers at tight end, solid. Chris Gibbons as the flex, solid. Greg DeLeg, Zerline, solid play there, you would think. And also the Niners defense. And again, you would think solid. This individual ended up actually only putting up 51.6 points, which is about as bad as it gets. So you look at that and you think to yourself, holy shit, what do I do? I mean, Vinay, what can I do when I'm starting guys like that and I'm not getting the production? I mean, do I gotta look at playing some other guys? Moving forward, David Wilson maybe you might sit. But the lesson here to be learned is that, number one, okay, you would never even consider for a second sitting, regardless of matchups, sitting any of those guys. Maybe a Brandon Myers based on matchups, maybe a David Wilson moving forward. But other than that, you're playing every one of those other guys pretty much every single week, okay? Why? Because, and I have a number of those guys in my league, at Colin Kaepernick, and I'm starting Colin Kaepernick again this week. Why? Because they're studs. They're fucking studs. You're not sitting them, okay? Bottom line. It's kind of like, and I'll give an analogy here, it's kind of like getting cold feet playing aces, and I'll give you a poker analogy here, playing aces and kings, pre-flop, okay? You get cold feet sometimes because you lost on them. Maybe kings, you get cold feet on it. It fucking blows when they do get busted once in a while, and it blows when it happens. But still, no matter what, you could get busted on aces, kings 5 times in a row. You're still going to play them and go all in pre-flop with that hand. And that's the same situation here. I'm all in with Kaepernick. If he goes down in flames, I fucking go down in flames. It's that simple. I mean, eventually I might switch over to another quarterback, but I'm going to give him another week or two to really kind of show. I'm not sitting Marshawn Lynch. I'm not sitting Wes Welker or Deshaun Jackson moving forward, bottom line. Okay, so your studs, the guys you drafted high, keep rolling with them. Just try to give you the good advice as much as I can, guys. That's all. So moving on, let's talk about the plays this week. Okay, I'll try to do better this time. Last week was a disaster. I can't imagine I can do worse. So let's talk about the starts first. Last week I said, sit the rest of all of your Jacksonville Jaguars, the rest of the year. You know what? I actually like the MJD play this week. I do. I really like MJD. The Colts allow 129 yards per game, which is 7th most of the NFL. I think you'll get a lot of garbage time minutes with MJD, along with you can even throw Cecil Shorts in there. I think you'll get a lot of garbage time minutes and points out of Cecil Shorts and MJD. So I think they're a start this week. Alfred Morris. You saw what the Denver running backs did against Oakland last Monday night. I like Alfred Morris this week quite a bit. And then also the Kansas City defense. I mean, they're monsters, and I give you 2 words, or really 3 words, for why you should play the Kansas City defense, and that is New York Giants offense. It's 4 words. New York Giants offense. Horrific last week. The Carolina Panthers made them look just, as bad as they could possibly look. So I like the KC defense. They'll get their sacks, probably a couple of turnovers. That should be good enough. They'll probably hold them to, at worst, in the teens. So I like the KC defense. As far as bye week fill-ins, you have a couple of teams on bye this week. You have the Green Bay Packers and the Carolina Panthers. So you got some big boys on bye this week. You got Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton at quarterback. You got a whole set of receivers on Green Bay along with Steve Smith. Even at running back, you got all the Green Bay running backs and D'Angelo Williams, etc., and Greg Olsen you can throw in there too. So I got some good bye week fill-ins here. If you have Aaron Rodgers or Cam Newton, okay, and you're looking to kind of decide who do I play, I watched Terrell Pryor last Monday night, and I really was impressed with how he played. He played wonderful, great passes on third down. Did not look like the stage was too big for him. Got out of the pocket, was able to rush, for good yardage. I like Terrell Pryor against the Washington defense, which is absolutely horrific, the worst defense in the league. And I like Terrell Pryor this week. And he's out he did go out late in the game with a concussion. Honestly, I even like Matt Flynn possibly throwing against the Washington defense. That's how bad that Washington defense is. If you have D'Angelo Williams or any Packers running back right now, I like Brandon Bolden and Andre Ellington, 2 names that you can pick up on waiver right now. A lot of leagues, those guys will still be available to pick up on the cheap. Both of those guys were being utilized last week in the passing game quite a bit. So if you're in a PPR league especially, can't do worse than getting those guys and getting good 10, 11, 12 points out of them as a bye week fill-in. Not a bad deal. And if you have at the receiver position Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson, James Jones, Steve Smith, I really like Ryan Broyles as a fill-in. Nate Burleson is out, broken arm, trying to catch his pizza while driving. So I think Ryan Broyles will fill in their pass-heavy offense. So I think that Ryan Broyles will get a good amount of targets. I like Rod Streeter, kind of playing off that whole Terrell Pryor bye week fill-in. I like Rod Streeter and Denarius Moore. Denarius Moore probably taken in a lot of leagues, but Rod Streeter is still available in a number of leagues. Pick him up. Terrell Pryor was targeting him quite a bit last week, along with Denarius Moore. Great plays in my opinion. Moving away to players you want to stay away from. You want to stray away from these guys. These are what you call Vinai.s strays. Okay. I really like, or I would advise rather, staying away from Andre Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins. And again, they're going up against the Seattle defense, okay, which I think is enough said right there. You saw what Seattle defense has done to pretty much every team this year, what they did to Kaepernick, what they did to Bolden. Andre Johnson is still injured. DeAndre Hopkins, a rookie, so I just don't like any of those plays. Quite frankly, I'd sit even Owen Daniels, Matt Schaub, Arian Foster. I just don't like any of those plays. Obviously, some of those guys you have to play because you have no better option, but if you can find a better option, sit those guys. Larry Fitzgerald going up against Darrelle Revis in Tampa this week. Darrelle Revis kept Colston to only 4 catches and 63 yards last week. The Tampa D is only allowing 15 fantasy points against receivers so far this year. So, and then Larry Fitzgerald is banged up too. So if you have a better option, you can find someone else. I would sit Larry Fitzgerald if you can. Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller. I already told you I hate Fred Jackson. Well, this week I really hate him. CJ's injured. Baltimore is they're going up against Baltimore defense, which is allowing the 4th fewest fantasy points against opposing running backs so far this year. 58 yards per game and no touchdowns so far through 3 weeks. So definitely, if you can find a better option than Fred Jackson, CJ Spiller, I would definitely go that route. The Magic Carpet Ride. This is the big plays of the week. I always like to say, play these guys, enjoy the Magic Carpet Ride all the way to victory. I like all of the Indianapolis Colts. They're going up against the Jacksonville defense that's pretty bad. I like Andrew Luck. T.Y. Hilton, I think, will wake up this week along with Reggie Wayne. I even like Kobe Fleener in there. I like all those guys the first half. All the passing game first half. Second half, when they're ahead by 20 points in the second half, I like Richardson. I like Bradshaw to really get a lot of carries and be able to put up some nice numbers. To me, I think my prediction is 4 out of those 6 that I just mentioned will put up stud numbers. Only thing is it sucks if you end up with the short straw on the other 2. But I mean, other than that, though, you're not going to sit any of those guys. I would play all of them.
We have a few viewer questions.
Okay.
Buy or sell.
All right.
First one coming in from Josh. He asked, buy or sell David Wilson.
I'm selling. If you can get some value, and I see people out there still being able to trade Wilson for some pretty decent value. I actually traded Wilson. All right, calm down, lady. Let me explain. Calm down. I traded David Wilson, in fact, for Eddie Lacy. Now, David Wilson has a higher upside, but I looked at my team, and I can get points in other places. I really wanted a more sure bet, a guy who's going to be more steady, that I know is going to get the carry. So I went with Eddie Lacy instead, and I traded. So, look, he could be a huge upside risk, but I'm selling, quite frankly.
Sarah wants to know, buy or sell on Tom Brady.
I'm buying. Because Gronk is coming back. Amendola should be back relatively soon. I think he showed some good chemistry with Kenbrell Tompkins last week. Aaron Dobson, so I think he's the chemistry with him and the rookie receivers are only going to get better, especially when Gronk comes back, especially when Amendola comes back. Bolden looked good, out of the backfield as a running back. So I liked, I definitely buy on Tom Brady.
Jimmy wants to know, buy or sell on Mike Vick.
I'm going to sell because I think that with the pace they're going, he's going to get injured. Look, I don't hate dogs. Don't boo me like I kill dogs. Okay, relax. No, I'm selling on Michael Vick. I think he's going to get injured. I don't think they keep up that pace, so sell.
Trevor?
Yeah?
Buy or sell on Dwayne Bowe?
I'm going to buy on that one. I think eventually he had a bad week last week, but I really was high on him. I'll definitely I buy on Dwayne Bowe. I think that he'll definitely get his throughout the course of the season. And so that hey, take it easy. Look, I'm the only one that gets to say fuck you. Okay? Not the other way around. Understand that. Understand who's the boss of the show here, all right? Anyhow, so that's pretty much it at this point. I want to wish all of you the best of luck in your fantasy teams this week. Hopefully it goes better than it did for me last week, and I'll be back here next week. Vinai.s plays again next week. I'm fucking tired now. God, shit.